Live, local, late breaking. This is WBAL-TV 11 News Sunday morning.
The good news about bad behavior. It may sound like a contradiction in terms, but we'll explain what it means and how it relates to children. Raising well-behaved and respectful children is not an easy task, but this morning we are looking at new ways to approach parenting in a highly connected age. In the book, The Good News About Bad Behavior, author Katherine Reynolds Lewis shares her experiences and perspective on how to handle troublesome behaviors. And Katherine is joining us now. Katherine, good to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Very interested in this book. You know, I have an 11-year-old and you have 3 kids. So you wrote this book based off of experience, right?
I wrote this book because I wanted the answer to why don't my kids do what I want?
Yeah.
That's the fundamental question I started investigating.
And so you've got some tips. We're going to get to them. But as you worked through each child, you've got 3. What are their ages?
11, 14, and 25.
Okay. And so as you worked through the different steps, did you notice things got easier?
Well, certainly the more that I learned, I spent 5 years traveling the country learning about the most effective discipline models, and the more that I learned about new strategies, I tried them out at home and I discovered which ones worked for which child.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the tips. The first one here, understanding that kids are having a hard time not giving you a hard time. Talk to me about that.
So often we look at a child misbehaving and we think they're doing something to us. They're doing it on purpose. But really, those kids don't have the skills to manage their big emotions or their behavior or their thoughts. And the more that we can think about how do we solve this problem together, as opposed to taking it personally, takes the heat out of it and gets us to a solution so much faster.
So true. Oh, and I read through these tips. I was like, that's it. That's what I need to start doing. So you say connect before you correct.
Even if it's just a moment of touching your child on the arm, that physical connection actually helps to regulate their brain and it helps bring them back to a calm state as opposed to jumping right in with what they did wrong or how they're disappointing us.
Okay, agree in advance on consequences. This is a big one.
Right, so we want ultimately our children to learn self-discipline. So when they make a choice, they should know what's the consequence or what's the thing that's going to follow next. And if we jump in with our punishment, you did this thing and so therefore this happens, they don't actually make a choice based on knowing what will happen. Whereas if we agree, when you use your iPad before you've finished your homework and your chores, you lose your iPad, then they are much better able to learn the consequences of their behavior and their choices.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, respond, don't react to kids' behavior.
We are so connected to our kids. Part of the research in this book was looking at the brain science of how our children's physiology, their heart rate, their breathing mimics ours. So if we are upset and yelling, they will get more upset. Whereas if we take a deep breath, call on our Zen, and respond intentionally, they have a better chance of cooling off and doing what we want.
Yeah, okay. And another tip here, you say that empathy helps children's brains self-regulate.
Right, it's powerful. There's really interesting neuroscience studies that show when you are connected to another person, when you're understood, and especially if it's your parent, the neural connections in your brain that help you manage emotions, thoughts, and behavior actually get stronger.
And so where can folks find this book?
Anywhere books are sold. It's a hardcover, audiobook, and ebook, and KatherineRLewis.com is my website. I'd love to hear from readers and hope there's lots of strategies in there for whatever the issues are in your home.
All right, and again, the name of that book is right there on the screen. The Good News About Bad Behavior, Why Kids Are Less Disciplined Than Ever, and What to Do About It. Very helpful. Thank you so much.